Did you know that the Bible contains more than 2,350 verses about money and possessions? That is twice as many as the verses about prayer and faith combined. But here is the haunting question. If the Creator of the universe gave us a literal blueprint for abundance, why are so many people of faith living paycheck to paycheck? Why do you feel a knot in your stomach every time an unexpected bill arrives? The truth is, there is something quietly consuming your finances, and it isn't the national economy, your boss, or the cost of living. It is a poverty spirit, disguised as humility. Today we are going to break that veil. We are going to stop looking at money through the lens of the world and start looking at it through the lens of the kingdom. Welcome. You aren't here by accident. You are here because you are tired of the cycle. You are tired of being a good person who is constantly stressed about bad math. The Bible is not just a book of stories, it is the most sophisticated economic manual ever written. It has survived empires, crashes, and depressions. In this video, I am going to walk you through the 10 ancient pillars of biblical wealth. These aren't just tips, they are spiritual laws. I urge you to stay until the very end, because the 10th pillar is the most misunderstood principle in the entire Word of God. It is the master key. Once you turn it, the way you see your bank account and your purpose will change forever. Let's begin the renovation of your mind. The development, the 10 pillars. Pillar 1, the shift from owner to steward. The principle, you own nothing. You manage everything. The verse, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. Psalm 24 verse 1. The application, the biggest mistake we make is using the word mine. When you believe the money in your account is yours, you feel the right to waste it on your impulses. But when you realize you are a steward, a manager for the king, your perspective shifts. Imagine a CEO gives you $10,000 to manage for his company. Would you spend it on a new pair of designer shoes just because you felt sad that day? Of course not. You would invest it to show the CEO you are capable. God is looking for managers. If you cannot manage the little of a $1,000 paycheck, why would the heavens trust you with $1 million? Prosperity starts when you stop acting like an owner and start acting like a trusted partner of God. Pillar 2. The Joseph strategy, the 20% rule. The principle, strategic reserves for future winters. The verse, let Pharaoh appoint commissioners over the land to take a fifth of the harvest of Egypt during the 7 years of abundance. Genesis 41 verse 34. The application, Joseph saved Egypt and the world from starvation not by a miracle of multiplying bread, but by a miracle of administration. He saved 20% during the good years. The wise man knows that lean years will come. It is an economic cycle. The foolish man spends everything he earns the moment he gets it. If you spend 100% of what you make, you are living in a state of disobedience to the Joseph principle. Start small. Even if it is 5% or 10%, create a storehouse. You cannot be a blessing to others if your own storehouse is empty. Pillar 3, the trap of the borrower. The principle, debt is a form of modern-day bondage. The verse, the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22 verse 7. The application, we live in a culture designed to keep you in chains. Credit cards, buy now pay later, and high-interest loans are the shackles of the 21st century. Every time you sign a loan for something that depreciates like a car or clothes, you are handing your freedom to a stranger. The Bible doesn't say debt is a sin, but it warns that it is slavery. A slave cannot fully follow the call of God because he has to ask his master for permission. Imagine if God called you to go on a mission trip or start a ministry, but you couldn't go because you owed the bank $500 a month for a car you don't even like anymore. Break the chains. Live below your means so you can eventually live beyond your wildest dreams. Pillar 4, the law of diligence, the ant versus the sluggard. The principle, wealth is built through steady, focused work, not get-rich-quick schemes. The verse, go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, yet it stores its provisions in summer. Proverbs 6 verses 6 to 8. The application, many people pray for a harvest they never planted. They want a financial miracle to fall from the sky. But God usually blesses the work of your hands, not the idleness of your heart. The ant is small, but it is consistent. It doesn't wait for a boss to tell it to work. Are you waiting for a promotion to start working hard? Or are you working so hard that the promotion becomes inevitable? Wealth is rarely a jump. It is a walk. It is the result of doing the right things consistently over a long period. If this message is starting to shift your perspective, I want you to hit that like button and subscribe. In the comments right now, type, "I am a steward, not an owner." Let the world know you are changing your mindset. Pillar 5. The guardrail of integrity. The principle, wealth gained dishonestly will vanish. Wealth gained honestly will grow. The verse, dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Proverbs 13 verse 11. The application, the world tells you that nice guys finish last, and that you have to cut corners to get ahead. That is a lie from the pit. Money earned through deception carries a curse of stress and instability. Think of a house built on sand. It might look beautiful for a season, but the first storm will level it. When you build your wealth with integrity, paying your taxes, being honest with customers, giving a full day's work for a full day's pay, you are building on a rock. That wealth is sticky. It stays with you and passes to your children. Pillar 6. Contentment versus comparison. The principle, comparison is the thief of both joy and capital. The verse, but godliness with contentment is great gain. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. 1 Timothy 6 verses 6 to 10. The application, why do we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like? That is the definition of a poverty mindset. True wealth is the ability to say no to a trend because you are focused on a vision. The wise person looks at their own race. The foolish person is constantly looking at their neighbor's driveway. If you are not content with what God has given you today, you will not be content with $1 million tomorrow. Contentment is the great gain, because it stops the leaks in your heart that cause leaks in your wallet. Pillar 7. The diversification mandate. The principle, do not put all your eggs in one basket. The verse, invest in 7 ventures, yes in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2. The application, this is ancient investment advice from King Solomon, the wealthiest man to ever live. He understood that the world is unpredictable. If you have only one source of income, your job, you are one disaster away from zero. The biblical model is to build multiple streams. Maybe it's a small business, a rental property, or a skill you monetize on the side. Don't be afraid to branch out. God gave you multiple talents. Why would He only want you to have one stream of provision? Pillar 8. The power of silence and counsel. The principle, don't boast about your plans. Seek wisdom from those who have already succeeded. The verse, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Proverbs 15 verse 22. The application, the foolish person tells everyone their big idea before they even start. They seek validation from people who are just as broke as they are. The wise person stays quiet and finds a mentor. If you want to be financially free, stop taking financial advice from people who are struggling. Seek out the elders in your community or in the Word who have fruit in their lives. Learn to listen more than you speak. Pillar 9. The paradox of generosity. The principle, you gain by giving, you lose by hoarding. The verse, one person gives freely yet gains even more, another withholds unduly but comes to poverty. Proverbs 11 verse 24. The application, this makes no sense to the logical mind. The world says, if I have $100 and give away $10, I have $90. But the kingdom says, if you give $10, you open a portal for God to bless the remaining $90. Generosity is the ultimate mindset renovator. It proves to your brain, and to the spiritual realm, that money does not control you. Hoarding is a sign of fear. Giving is a sign of faith. When you are a conduit through which God can bless others, God will make sure the pipe never runs dry. The final pillar, the most powerful one. Pillar 10, seeking the kingdom first. The principle, the order of your priorities determines the flow of your provision. The verse, but seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6 verse 33. The application, here is the secret I promised you. Most people spend 99% of their time chasing these things, the house, the car, the security, the status. And they spend 1% of their time chasing God. The biblical secret to wealth is to flip the script. When your primary obsession is, how can I serve God's kingdom? How can I be a light? How can I fulfill my calling? Then, these things start chasing you. Think of it like this. If you are an ambassador for a wealthy country, that country pays for your house, your food, your travel, and your security. Why? Because you are on the king's business. If you make your life about the king's business, the king makes your expenses his responsibility. This is the ultimate freedom. You stop grinding and start flowing. Conclusion and contrast, the wise versus the foolish. To wrap this up, let's look at the two paths. The foolish person sees money as a god to be served. They live in fear, they borrow to look rich, they hoard because they don't trust the Father, and they ignore the instructions in the manual. Their temple of wealth is built on sand, and when the storms of life come, the crash is great. The wise person sees money as a tool to be used. They live in peace, they save for the future, they give generously, and they seek the kingdom above all else. Their temple is built on the rock. Even if the economy collapses, they remain standing because their source isn't Wall Street, it's Zion. Prosperity is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of obedience. You cannot keep doing the same things and expect a different harvest. You must change the seeds you are sowing. I want to challenge you today. Don't just watch this video and go back to your old habits. Here is your activation. Identify one shackle, a debt or a bad spending habit, and commit to breaking it this week. Start your Joseph storehouse, even if it's just $10. Shift your prayer from "God, give me money" to "God, make me a better steward." I want to see a movement of people who are financially free so they can be spiritually dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Declaration. In the comments below, I want you to write this declaration of faith. I am renewing my mind. I am a steward of the King, and my storehouse shall be full. If this message touched your heart, share it with one person who needs to break the cycle of lack. Remember, your wealth starts in your spirit and your mind before it ever hits your bank account. Manage well, give freely, and seek Him first. I'll see you in the next one.